15th century furniture history, styles, motifs, and design. The 15th century was a fascinating period of transition for wooden furniture in Europe, moving from the medieval Gothic style toward the Italian Renaissance style. Most popular and important types of wooden furniture from the 15th century. 1. The chest, the essential piece. Name, chest, or coffers in Northern Europe, and cassone in Italy. Function. It was the most important and versatile piece of furniture. It served as a trunk for storage, clothing, linens, valuables, a seat, and sometimes a simple table or bed. Style/material. Northern Europe, Gothic typically made of oak, often featuring carved decoration like linenfold, a popular motif resembling folded fabric, and Gothic architectural tracery, pointed arches. Italy, Renaissance. The cassone was elevated to a high art form, especially as a marriage chest. They were richly carved, gilded, and often painted on the front and lid with mythological or wedding scenes. The wood was often walnut or cypress. 2. The cupboard/cabinet, the status symbol. Name, cupboard, armoire, or dressoir, in Northern Europe/France. Function. This piece became increasingly important, replacing the chest as the central storage piece, particularly for displaying valuable plate, silver, and gold dishes. The number of shelves and the ornateness of the dressoir indicated the owner's wealth. Innovation. The 15th century saw the introduction of drawers into these pieces, a major improvement in functionality. Like chests, they were decorated with linenfold and heavy Gothic carving. 3. Seating. Chair/throne. The chair was still a status symbol, reserved for the lord or lady of the house. Other people used benches or stools. High-backed chairs resembled church stalls with tall, ornately carved backs, sometimes with canopies. Wainscot chairs, heavy, paneled chairs made of wood, often oak. Settle, a wooden bench with a high back and arms, often found in taverns and wealthy homes for seating near the fire. Scabello, Italy. A light, portable Renaissance chair with a small, often octagonal seat and a solid, ornately cut wooden back and legs. Dante/Savonarola chair, Italy. A folding, X-shaped chair inspired by Roman curule chairs, favored in wealthy Italian homes. 4. Tables and beds. Tables. Tables were still commonly of the trestle construction, boards set across removable supports, to allow them to be easily dismantled when not in use. However, the 15th century saw the rise of more permanent, fixed tables, especially in Renaissance Italy, supported by carved columns or consoles. Beds. Wealthy households owned four-poster beds, canopy beds, that were monumental in scale, with surrounding hangings and curtains made of rich fabrics for privacy and warmth. In summary, the furniture was heavy, robust, and generally made of oak in Northern Europe, Gothic style, but was becoming more architectural, refined, and often made of walnut in Italy, Renaissance style. The decorative motifs on 15th century furniture clearly show the division between the persistence of the Gothic style in Northern Europe and the emergence of the Renaissance style in Italy. The most important decorative techniques and motifs of the period. 1. Gothic motifs, Northern Europe, England, France, Flanders. This style focused heavily on carved wood and borrowed directly from ecclesiastical architecture. Linenfold, paneling. The most common and characteristic decoration of the 15th century North. What it is? A carved panel motif that mimics the appearance of folded cloth or linen that is draped vertically. It is executed in low relief. Purpose: it was used to decorate the panels, fielded panels, in everything from chests and cupboards to chair backs and wall wainscoting. Significance: it is thought to symbolize the altar cloth or a parchment scroll. B. Gothic tracery. What it is? Ornate carved patterns that imitate the stone geometric latticework found in the upper parts of Gothic cathedral windows. Forms. Common forms included trefoils, 3 lobes, quatrefoils, 4 lobes, lancet arches, and circles. Placement. Used on the framed stiles and rails of cupboards, dressoirs, and the more important panels of furniture. C. Architectural elements. Motifs. Small, carved elements resembling towers, spires, and pinnacles, miniature steeples, were often incorporated into the corners and cornices of large pieces like cupboards, making them look like miniature buildings. 2. Renaissance motifs, Italy, Florence, Urbino. The Italian style prioritized flat surfaces, geometric forms, and classical themes over the deep, structural carving of the Gothic style. Intarsia, wood inlay. This was the highest form of decorative woodworking in Renaissance Italy. What it is? A form of wood mosaic where precisely cut pieces of different woods, chosen for their natural color and grain, are inlaid into a solid wood base to create a pictorial image. Technique: unlike later marquetry, Intarsia used thicker pieces of wood, and the designs often played with perspective and trompe-l'oeil, fool the eye, to create an illusion of three-dimensional objects, like open cupboards filled with books, musical instruments, or scientific tools. Placement: most famously seen in the wall paneling of the studioli, small study rooms, of wealthy patrons, as well as on cassone and cabinet fronts. B. Serticina, geometric inlay. What it is? A specific type of geometric inlay that used small, contrasting pieces of bone, ivory, and light-colored wood, often dyed, set into a darker wood, like walnut, to create repeating geometric patterns. C. Classical carving. As the Renaissance revived classical antiquity, these motifs appeared. Acanthus leaves and scrolls, stylized foliage derived from Greek and Roman architecture, especially the Corinthian column capital. Mythological figures and putti, cherubs used on the panels of a cassone, marriage chest, either painted or carved in low relief. Medallions and profiles, roundels containing the profile of a classical figure, Roman emperor, or sometimes the patron themselves. These motifs show a clear stylistic break. The North remained heavily rooted in the religious and architectural traditions of the Middle Ages, while Italy was looking back to ancient Rome and Greece, paving the way for modern furniture design.